Your Honor, at this time, I would ask if I could have the witness step down in order to draw a diagram for the jury.
Yes. Or if you need to move, you can.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Ross, since we're not by the microphone, make sure you keep your voice up. All right, so let's say that this line that I'm drawing here is Buckhorn. Let's say that we have Yarborough down here on the left. And right here is the service road that you eventually turned off on. Could you identify for the jury here, where did you park your car?
Not really far up. I would have to say somewhere around.
All right, so this is the vehicle. Yes, ma'am.
You're going to use this as an exhibit, and we need to have Mr. Ross be the one who's drawn.
He did. Okay, I was just making it a square, so it's not.
If you want to ask him to draw it as a square, please ask him to draw it as a square.
There we go. All right, Mr. Ross, can you erase this square and draw a square with the car? All right, so where's the front of the car and where's the back?
This would be the front of the car. This is the back of the car. It's kind of pulled in. So we need to stop right here.
All right, I have 3 different color markers. Each of them is going to identify the different individuals that were in the car.
All right, so once we're going further, let's have the record reflect that Mr. Ross has indicated that the front of the car was facing away from what is indicated on this diagram as Buckhorn. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, please continue.
All right, so Isaiah, you will be the blue marker. Indicate with the circle in the car, where were you sitting before you got out of this vehicle?
The driver's side.
And then we will indicate with this green marker, Devin, where was he sitting inside this vehicle? Sorry.
He was in the passenger side.
Make sure you speak up. He was where?
He was in the passenger side.
Front or rear?
Front. When you're right. Yes.
You can just mark that. And then we'll indicate Lyric with this purple marker. Where was she sitting?
She was in the back seat. I know when she got in, I didn't really look back because I was messing with the headlights, trying to get them off at first and then on. But I know she was in the back seat somewhere.
When you arrived, you still have the blue marker. You mentioned that you got out of the vehicle and kind of gave it some space. Did you walk toward the front of the vehicle or to the rear of the vehicle? Where did you go? Mark it by a circle.
So I'd say somewhere around here.
And when you got out of the vehicle, what did Devin do?
He also got out of the vehicle, and based on reasoning, I would say he entered into the back door. Right?
Did you hear the door open and close?
I did.
And so Devin is green. So Devin went from the front seat to the back seat. Can you identify that by putting him in the back seat? And What were you doing while you were outside the vehicle in front of the car?
Just waiting, using his vape, and just waiting, using his vape and waiting.
Did you have your phone with you?
I did.
About how long do you think you were standing outside of this car in front of it?
I don't really recall. I wasn't really watching the time. I was just waiting for him to get out of the car. Then we get into the car.
So, what happens next? What catches your attention next as you're sitting there on your phone or using the vape?
I start hearing muffled voices coming from inside of the car. It sounded like feminine, so I'd say it was weird. And I wasn't really trying to be as nosy. I didn't understand what was going on, so I
didn't get too many.
I didn't really hear what was going on, and I didn't understand what was going on, so I can give as much attention.
So what happens next?
Lyric gets out of the car on this side, and that's when I can hear.
Show me what side she comes out of. All right, so she gets out on the driver's side passenger door.
Yes.
And when she gets out, does she get out by herself, or does Devin get out in front?
He gets up behind her.
Also on the passenger driver's side.
Yeah, they came out of the same door. The door didn't close in between. She got out, and then he just stopped.
So can you draw a circle where he would have been and where she would have been once they got out of the car? When they got out of the vehicle on this driver's side passenger area, what was happening? What did you hear? What did you notice as you're standing?
Since the door opened, it kind of like gave, from hearing the muffled sound to when the door opened, it was like mid-sentence. It just like kind of, I guess, trying to find the word. Transfer. Once the door opened, I just was able to hear better, and since she got out, and now I just hear what she's saying.
What is she saying?
Well, she said that she expected more respect. It's not really word for word, but she would expect him to respect her more, or something like that. She said she wasn't his whore, that she wasn't going to let him push her around anymore, and that she was probably going to get police involved.
And how did Devin respond as she's saying this to him?
He said something. I don't really remember what he said because he was moving while he said it, and his back was turning. So he walks around here. He walks around and goes into the passenger side of the door, and I can see him retrieving something from the vehicle. Didn't know really what it was at first until he came back around, and I seen he had a gun in his hand.
And so when he points this gun at Lyric, what happens next?
Lyric, from what I seen, she had put her hands up and started backing up, and he was I don't want to say on top of her, but he was pretty close to her. He was walking to her pretty quickly with the gun, and it looked like she wanted to kind of come around here to take cover, I would say, behind the car. And it was around this area where I had heard gunshots. I didn't see her necessarily because she was around this area right here, but I did see him walk around and kind of like his back right here. That's where I heard the shots.
With kind of a dotted line, show me Lyric's path of travel from where she started when she got out of the car to where she stopped.
Over the top of this.
Think it might be gaseous.
On 3-2.
So you have here showing markings from the back seat of this car to the back of the car. Did she eventually go past the front of the car?
After the gunshots, was pause. I could hear screaming coming from this side of the car.
Mr. Ross, I need you to speak up a little bit,
I could hear
back up a little further on the side so folks right behind you can see.
screaming. You better see screaming this. So I heard the gunshots around this area, and telling me to pause. I can hear her screaming, and I don't see her run back down towards where Buckhorn is. So, based on the sound and what I was hearing, it sounded like she was coming up this side of the vehicle. And Devin also followed behind her. Because at this point they had re-emerged. When I had originally seen him walking to her, kind of, I was saying stuff to him, really just trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And so I moved up a little bit. So I moved up a little bit. That was when, I would say around here, I heard gunshots. I hadn't taken that many steps. And the gunshots, they actually started me. And I backed back up. And they came around here. She's running. And she's screaming. And I'd say once they get around this area, like black mark.
So what are you going to show us here when they get to this area?
There were 4 gunshots somewhere around here.
And so what are you doing as you are watching this happen in front of you?
I just couldn't do anything. I was just stuck, honestly.
So you say you're stuck, were you afraid?
Thanks.
Describe for me how you're feeling, Mr. Ross.
I was shocked. I didn't, honestly, I didn't want to believe that what was happening was happening. So I didn't know what to do.
So you drew a circle where you said there were more shots that were fired. So does that mean that's where Devin and Lyric were at that time?
Yeah, around this area right here.
Can you draw a circle for where they would be at that location?
The one for the record indicated that the original circle is on the front passenger side of the SWOT.
Yes, the front passenger side, which is green, is Devin, and the purple circle would be Lyric. So where would this now green circle and purple circle be, which identifies these two individuals? You see that?
Around this area right here.
And that area being the now new black circle that's in front of the car.
Yes.
And what did Lyric do after Devin did this?
She fell in this area, she was kind of just you know, rolling around on the ground, rocking, I would say, back and forth, crying,
She's what?
crying, screaming.
What does Devin do next?
He comes over towards me. Comes over towards me and asks me if I'm ready to go. And he asked if I could be quiet about the situation. Pretty much, I'm just like, heck no. Like, this is your crap. You did this. You're gonna do it. I'm not going to happen. So I was thinking he was making it.
So what happens next?
He told me that I knew what time it was then.
And after he made that statement, what did he do?
Pointed the gun at me.
And when you say he pointed it at you, how close was he to you?
Not really far. He was kind of like where that square is.
In relation between me and you, was he closer than I am to you? In between this dry erase board, or was he further away?
A little bit closer.
And so, Devin, is he taller than you or shorter than you?
He's taller than me.
And so he was pointing this gun, was it pointed at your head, at your chest? What do you remember?
I just remember looking down the barrel.
And so you're standing in the front, kind of left portion of this car. Are you completely in front of the car? Are you standing next to the car? How would you say your location is to this vehicle?
When the gun swung down,
Yes.
in this proximity right here.
So that would be the front left of the car.
Yes.
And you just drew a black circle around that location in the front left. And how did you respond to this, him pointing a gun at you, and after you just watched what happened to Lyric?
Well, after he had told me that I knew what time it was, I put two and two together. I told him I wasn't going to go down and do that, and then accepted it again. I wouldn't do that again. So I went for the gun. I was able to get my hand around it. Kind of an act of desperation also in my head towards his facial area, with my head at him, twisted, kind of trying to pry it out of his face.
And you said you got your hand on the gun? And what happened next?
After throwing my head at him, it kind of knocked him back, loosened his grip, so I was able to get my hand completely around it, with my other hand on it. Once I had my other hand on the gun, I remember being hit somewhere in this area, like a punch.
Now, you're pointing to an area that would be what part of your body?
My shoulder,
Which shoulder?
my right shoulder.
All right, so what happens next? Okay. And in your location on this diagram, are you still here in the front left portion of the car?
Yes, I would say somewhere around in that area.
And you say you start firing. Does what? One time, two times? Do you remember how many times you shot?
I don't. I just pointed and squeezed.
And what did Devin do?
He started moving towards this area, and he fell somewhere around.
And what did you do after that happened?
I just lost it. So place. Panic button, honestly, couldn't really, I didn't know what to do.
Did you eventually get back in your car?
I did.
And did you leave immediately, or did you have to do something first?
Well, when I had got back in the car, had seen that his body, some of his legs were still kind of in this area around here where the grain is. And I didn't want to pull out with the chance of me possibly running him over or something like that.
So what did you do?
So I got out and tried to get his body out of the way of the road. And he was face down, so it wasn't really helping. So I ended up taking my jacket off. I had a camouflage jacket on. I took that off. And then took off my quarter zip. I had a black quarter zip under that. Kind of threw it on him and used that to flip his body over so that I could just pull him on a little bit more up.
A little louder, Ms. Ross, what was the last time?
Completely out of the way of the road. Around this area right here.
And you can go back up on the stand, and I'm just going to leave this over here so that I can.
Defense exhibit number 1. Mr. Chaffer, are y'all moving that into evidence?
Yes, I asked to introduce this picture that was drawn by Mr. Ross into evidence as Defense Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.